The applause still echoed in Amaka's ears long after the hall emptied. Her name was everywhere. On billboards, online headlines, social media trends, and investor memos. Amaka Chisom, the richest young woman in Nigerian tech, developer of Project Nova, a global game-changer. That night should have been perfect, but as she stood backstage, holding Benjamin's hand and smiling at Jacob's proud face, something cold settled in her chest. Because she had seen him, the man she hoped she would never see again. Chief Nwoke, not shouting, not threatening, not angry, just watching, with that small, knowing smile, a smile that said, "I'm not done with you." Amaka was quiet inside the SUV as Benjamin drove her, Jacob, and 2 security escorts home. Her engagement ring glittered under the passing streetlights, but she barely noticed it. Benjamin squeezed her hand gently. "You killed that presentation," he said with a soft smile. "I've never been prouder." Amaka forced a smile back. "Thank you." Jacob watched her from the back seat. "You're thinking of him," he said softly. Amaka turned her face away. "I don't want to." "But yes." "I didn't see him today," Benjamin said, frowning. "Are you sure?" Amaka nodded. "He was standing by the back seats, in dark glasses. He left before the event ended." The car grew silent. Jacob leaned forward. "He won't harm you, Amaka. Not now. Not with your success and visibility." Amaka looked at him. "That's what scares me. Men like him don't stop because of success. They push harder." Benjamin exhaled. "We have security, and you're not alone. Whatever this man wants, we'll deal with it." Amaka nodded, but the fear didn't leave. Later that night, 1:48 a.m. Amaka couldn't sleep. The Lagos night outside her penthouse window hummed with distant generators and passing cars, but inside her room everything was silent. She sat up in bed, hugging her knees. Her laptop glowed softly on the table where she had left it open. Benjamin was asleep on the couch. He insisted he would stay until she felt safe. Her phone buzzed. She frowned. Who would message her at this hour? She picked it up. Unknown number. "Congratulations, Engineer Amaka. You shine brighter than your parents ever dreamed." Her chest tightened. Her fingers shook. "No. No, no, no." A second message came instantly. "We need to talk. Tomorrow. Midnight." Amaka's breath caught. A third message arrived. "Come alone." Then, a fourth. "I know where your parents' land papers are." She felt the room tilt sideways. "No, no," she whispered. The final message appeared. "Chief Nwoke." The phone slipped from her hand and fell on the bed. Benjamin stirred. "Amaka, what's wrong?" She didn't answer. She couldn't. The memories came rushing back. Her father shouting at the door, her mother holding her tight, Chief Nwoke's threats. The night their family home caught fire and they almost didn't escape. A tear slid down her cheek. Benjamin sat up and rushed to her. "Talk to me, please." Amaka turned the phone toward him. The look on his face shifted instantly, from concern to fury. "Where is this man getting your number?" Benjamin growled. Amaka wiped her eyes. "He said he knows where my parents' documents are." "Benjamin, those papers disappear." Benjamin held her shoulders. "No, you're not meeting him." "But no," he said firmly, "this is a trap." Before she could argue, Jacob walked into the room, fully dressed, wide awake, his face set like stone. "I heard her scream," he said, voice cold. Benjamin handed him the phone. Jacob read the messages slowly. His jaw tightened. Then he breathed out sharply. "He's playing a dangerous game." Amaka felt her lips tremble. "Sir, should I go?" Jacob looked at her for a long moment. "No," he said finally. "You will not meet him. Not alone. Not at midnight. Not ever. But he has something I need." Jacob crouched beside her. "Amaka, listen to me. Some people use the truth as bait." He held her hand gently. "This man wants access to you, to your success, to your name, to your fear. Once he gets that, there will be no end." Amaka swallowed. "So what do I do?" Jacob stood. "We plan, we think, we move smart." Benjamin nodded. We'll hire a private investigator to check this out, and we'll add security to the building. But Amaka wasn't fully convinced. Her parents' land was one of the last memories she had of them. She had always hoped, deep inside, that the documents weren't really lost. That maybe, just maybe, someone somewhere still had them. And now this man, the same man who tried to take the land, claimed he knew where the documents were. Her head spun. She closed her eyes. What if he's telling the truth? What if this is her only chance? Jacob suddenly turned to her. "There's something you need to know," he said quietly. Amaka opened her eyes. Jacob looked uneasy. "I didn't want to bring this up because tonight was supposed to be your victory." He paused. "But yesterday, before your event, someone tried to bribe your company's receptionist." Amaka stiffened. "What?" Benjamin stood. "By who?" Jacob exchanged a slow look with him. Then he answered, "Chief Nwoke." Amaka felt the blood drain from her face. Why would he do that?" "To get information about you," Jacob said. "Your address, your schedule, your contact, everything." A heavy silence filled the room. Benjamin clenched his fists. "This is harassment. We're calling the police." Jacob shook his head immediately. "No, not yet." "Why?" Amaka asked softly. Jacob paced. "Chief Nwoke has friends everywhere. He has influence. Going straight to the police might alert him and make him hide deeper." Benjamin frowned. "So what's the plan?" Jacob stopped pacing. "We go to his meeting spot," Jacob said. Amaka's eyes widened. "But he said I should come alone." Jacob gave a cold smile. "And I said you'll never face him alone." Benjamin nodded. "We'll go with her." Amaka's voice shook. "What about the danger?" Jacob walked toward her, and with a calm, powerful tone he said, "Danger does not scare me, Amaka. Losing you does." Her breath caught. He continued, "We go tomorrow, midnight, but on our terms, not his." Amaka tightened her fingers. A mix of fear and resolve grew inside her. This was it. The moment her past was forcing itself into her present. She thought she had escaped, but now her parents' enemy wanted her. Her success attracted shadows, and the man who once terrorized her family was waiting for her in the dark. She closed her eyes, then opened them with new strength. "Tomorrow," she whispered, "I face him." Jacob placed a protective hand on her shoulder. Benjamin moved beside her, nodding with fierce determination. The three of them stood together in the dim room. Outside the window, the night wind blew softly across Lagos. Silent, waiting. Because tomorrow night, everything would change again. Midnight in Lagos felt different. The air was heavier, the roads were quieter. Shadows stretched longer than they should. And tonight, those shadows watched Amaka. She sat in the back seat of the SUV, fingers twisting nervously. Jacob sat beside her, calm but sharp-eyed. Benjamin was in the front seat, speaking quietly with the security team. 4 black SUVs formed a convoy, headlights slicing through the night. Amaka swallowed hard. "What if this is a mistake?" Jacob shook his head. "A mistake would be ignoring him. Tonight we control the ground." Benjamin turned slightly. "We stay together. No splitting up." Amaka nodded, but her stomach twisted. She stared out the window. The streetlights flickered as they passed, casting stripes of shadow across her face. Why now? Why, after all these years? Her phone buzzed. Another message from the unknown number. "Come to the old parking lot behind Eastern Wharf, alone. Midnight. No cars close." She exhaled shakily. "He said I should come alone again." Benjamin frowned. "Ignore him. We have our own plan." Jacob leaned forward and looked her in the eyes. "Tonight you walk toward him, but you're not going alone. Every step you take, we're right behind you." She nodded, but fear still clung to her ribs. 12:13 a.m., Eastern Wharf parking lot. The old parking lot looked abandoned. Broken fences, grass pushing through cracked concrete, a flickering streetlight buzzing weakly above them. The SUVs parked far back, engines humming low. Jacob turned to Amaka. "Remember, we don't confront him. We let him talk first. He wants something. Let him reveal it." Benjamin added, "And don't step too close. Keep space." Amaka swallowed. Okay. She stepped out of the SUV. The night wind brushed her cheeks. Her legs felt heavy. Her breath came out in thin clouds. Jacob and Benjamin stayed hidden behind the SUV doors, watching. Amaka walked toward the middle of the empty lot. Her heart hammered louder with each step. Then, a car engine growled in the distance. Headlights appeared. A black old model Mercedes rolled slowly into the lot. Amaka froze. The car stopped. The door opened. Chief Nwoke stepped out, calm, confident, dangerous. He walked toward her with slow, measured steps. "Ah, Amaka," he said, spreading his arms. "You came." Amaka forced her voice not to shake. "What do you want?" Chief Nwoke chuckled softly. "Straight to business. You've grown." He took another step. "Your father would be proud." "Don't talk about my father," Amaka snapped. He smiled. "The fire in your eyes. Your mother had that." Amaka clenched her fists. "Say what you came to say." He nodded slowly. "Very well." He reached into his coat pocket. Amaka tensed. Jacob and Benjamin stepped closer, ready. Chief Nwoke's hand came out, holding a worn brown envelope. "Inside," he said, lifting it, "are your parents' land documents." Amaka's breath stopped. She stared at the envelope. Those papers were lost." "No," Chief Nwoke said. "I took them, to protect myself." Benjamin shouted from afar, "Stop lying." Chief Nwoke raised his voice. "I have the original survey plan. Your father signed it." "He didn't," Amaka cried. Chief Nwoke sighed. "Child, you think you know everything, but you know nothing. Your father was desperate. He needed money and came to me." Amaka shook her head hard. "My father would never sell our land." Chief Nwoke shrugged. "Believe what you want. But the truth is in this envelope." He waved it slightly. Amaka took a shaky step forward. Jacob's voice boomed behind her. "Amaka, stop." Chief Nwoke smirked. "Ah, you didn't come alone." He looked past her at the shadows. "You brought them." Benjamin stepped into view. "She's not meeting you alone." "Not ever." Chief Nwoke laughed lightly. "Of course. Billionaires helping poor orphans." Touching. Jacob stepped forward, voice low. "You messaged her. You threatened her. Now speak your point and leave." Chief Nwoke's eyes narrowed. "My point is simple." He held up the envelope. "I want something in exchange." Benjamin scoffed. "So that's it? Blackmail?" "No," Chief Nwoke said coolly. "Business." Amaka frowned. "What kind of business?" He studied her face for a long moment. "Your project," he said softly. "Project Nova." Amaka stiffened. "What about it?" "I want ownership." Amaka gasped. "You what?" Benjamin stepped forward angrily. "That's impossible." Chief Nwoke's voice stayed calm. "With Nova, I can control the market. Your tech can change financial tracking, digital identity, and global data flow." Jacob stepped closer. "You don't care about the tech. You care about the power." Chief Nwoke shrugged. "Same thing." Amaka shook her head slowly. "You want me to give up everything I built?" "Not everything," he said. "Just 60% ownership." Benjamin exploded. "Are you insane?" Jacob's voice turned ice cold. "This is extortion." Chief Nwoke smiled. "Call it whatever you want. But if she doesn't agree..." He lifted the envelope. "These documents go public. And suddenly, your sweet parents become criminals who forged land papers. Your image becomes dirty. Your company suffers. Your investors run." Amaka felt her vision blur. "You can't ruin my parents' name like that," she whispered. "Oh, I can," he replied calmly. "People don't care about truth, only headlines." Benjamin ran forward, furious. "You're lying." But Jacob grabbed his arm. "Benjamin, don't." Chief Nwoke looked directly at Amaka. "You want this envelope? Sign Nova over to me." Amaka's breathing faltered. Her past, her parents, her entire childhood, against everything she had worked for, her degree, her inventions, her rising success. "Choose," Chief Nwoke said softly. Benjamin whispered behind her, "Don't give him anything. We'll fight this." Jacob added, "We'll clear your parents' name the legal way." But Amaka stared at the envelope, the one thing she didn't have, the proof of her parents' innocence, the last piece of their legacy. Her hand shook violently. Chief Nwoke saw it and smiled. "Ah, you're thinking," he said. "Good girl." Amaka blinked tears away, then she whispered, barely audible, "What if I don't choose?" Chief Nwoke's smile vanished. "Then your past becomes your destruction." Amaka stepped back. Benjamin stepped forward. "Stay away from her." Chief Nwoke scoffed. "She'll come back. They always do." He turned, walking back to his car, but before he entered, he looked at Amaka once more. "You have 7 days," he said. "After that, I release everything." He got in the Mercedes. The engine roared. The car sped into the darkness, leaving Amaka shaking, broken, and caught between saving her parents' memory or saving her entire future. She fell to her knees. Benjamin rushed to her. "Amaka!" Jacob knelt beside her, his voice deep and steady. "We find another way." But Amaka looked toward the darkness where Chief Nwoke disappeared and whispered, "I don't know if there is another way." The night after Chief Nwoke's threat felt endless. Amaka lay awake in her room, staring at the ceiling. Benjamin slept on the couch again, refusing to leave. Jacob stayed downstairs with security, planning, calling, thinking. But Amaka, she didn't move, she didn't blink, she didn't breathe normally. Her mind replayed the same words. "Give me 60% ownership of Project Nova, or your parents will look like criminals." 7 days. Every time she remembered the envelope, her chest tightened, her eyes stung, her stomach twisted. By sunrise, she had not slept a single minute. Amaka walked into her office at the tech company to a storm. Reporters waiting outside. Camera flashes, security escorting her in. People whispering as she passed. She kept her chin up, but inside she was breaking. Benjamin sent her a message. "Stay calm, I'm here." But she knew calm would not be enough. In her private office, 3 managers entered nervously. "Amaka, we need to talk about something urgent," the first one said. She nodded, exhausted. "I know, the reporters." "No," the second manager said, sliding a tablet across the table. "This." On the screen was a trending blog post. "Who really owns Amaka's family land? Old scandal reappears as tech star rises. Unpaid debts before tragic death. New details." Amaka's throat tightened. How did this leak?" The third manager hesitated. "We confirmed the source. It came from someone connected to Chief Nwoke." Amaka gripped the table. "But he said 7 days." The first manager whispered, "He didn't leak the documents. He leaked the rumors." Amaka shook her head. "Those rumors are lies." The manager sighed. "People don't need proof to believe a story that sounds dramatic." Something inside Amaka cracked. Chief Nwoke wasn't waiting 7 days. He was starting the war early. Jacob called a private investigator, one of the best in the country. The man arrived with files, gadgets, and a cold professional face. "We need evidence," Jacob said. "We need to prove Amaka's parents never sold land illegally." The investigator nodded. "I'll dig everywhere. I'll find something." But at the end of the day, his report was short. "I checked land registries, old government files, town records, nothing. The documents are missing, completely wiped." Amaka closed her eyes. Of course they were wiped. Chief Nwoke had influence. He had power. He had planned this long ago. Amaka tried to focus on her work, but her mind wouldn't rest. She sat in her office, staring at lines of code, but they blurred like water. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "Clock is ticking." Another message. 3 days left. A third. "Choose wisely. Your father didn't." Amaka dropped her phone in shock. Benjamin rushed in. "What happened?" She showed him the messages. Benjamin clenched his jaw. "He wants you scared. He wants you desperate." Amaka whispered, "It's working." Benjamin knelt in front of her. "Look at me. You are not alone. You hear me? You have me. You have Jacob. We will protect your father's name." She nodded, but her heart felt heavy. Amaka returned home to find Jacob pacing the living room, phone in hand, face dark. "What happened?" she asked. Jacob turned to her. "He made another move." Amaka felt her legs weaken. "What did he do now?" Jacob handed her his phone. A video played, government officials walking into her company's Lagos branch, Benjamin arguing with them, reporters filming, a caption at the bottom, "Investigation, family land crime connected to tech firm." Amaka gasped, "No, no, no." Her company, her hard work, her reputation, all being dragged into something she didn't even cause. Benjamin walked in minutes later, tired, angry, frustrated. "They're opening a case," he said, "saying your family may have profited from illegal land activity. It's nonsense, but the damage is already spreading." Amaka could barely breathe. "This is happening because of me." Jacob shook his head. "No, it's happening because of Nwoke." Benjamin hugged her tightly. "We don't bend, we fight." But Amaka whispered, "I'm not sure I can win." The world felt smaller. Everywhere she looked, online, on the news, in people's eyes, she saw doubt. She walked through Lagos and heard whispers, "That's the girl from the scandal." But she was so promising. You never know with these rich people. Her success was being eaten by a shadow. In the car ride home that evening, she finally whispered, Maybe I should give him the 60%. Benjamin nearly swerved the car. "What? No." Jacob leaned forward. "Amaka, listen carefully. Giving in will not make him stop. It will make him stronger." "But the documents, even if he gives you the papers," Jacob said, "what stops him from leaking another lie? Another rumor? Another threat?" Benjamin added, "When someone like that gets power over you once, they never stop." Amaka looked down at her hands. They were shaking uncontrollably. "Then what choice do I have?" The private investigator returned, but he didn't look like someone who brought good news. Amaka braced herself. "I found something," he said. Amaka almost collapsed with relief. "What did you find? A document? A witness? Something to clear my parents?" The investigator shook his head. "No, I found something else." He placed a photograph on the table. It showed Chief Nwoke, shaking hands, with someone Amaka recognized instantly, her uncle, Namdi. Amaka gasped, What is my uncle doing with him?" The investigator handed her another photo, then another. Then another. Namdi and Chief Nwoke, meeting secretly, talking, signing something, exchanging envelopes. Jacob rubbed his forehead, shocked. Benjamin clenched his fists. He was helping Nwoke the whole time. Amaka covered her mouth. Her uncle, the man who threw her out, the man who hated her, the man who said her father was stupid. He was working with the same man who tried to destroy her father. The investigator finally spoke. "There is more." He placed down one final file. "When your parents died, it wasn't an accident." Amaka froze. The room fell silent. Jacob's face hardened. Benjamin grabbed the edge of the table. Amaka whispered, voice thin and breaking, "What? Do you mean?" The investigator opened the file. Inside was a blurry old photo of a car with its brake lines cut. Then he said the words that shattered Amaka's soul. "Your parents were killed." Amaka collapsed onto her knees, trembling violently. Her screams tore through the room, raw, broken, and full of a pain she never imagined. Benjamin grabbed her. "Amaka." Jacob knelt beside her, eyes wet. "We'll get justice." But Amaka shook her head violently. "No," she cried. "No, no, no." She looked at the photo again, then whispered, "My uncle killed my parents?" But the investigator's reply was worse. "No, he didn't do it." Amaka blinked through tears. "Then who?" The investigator pointed at the photo and said, "Chief Nwoke." Amaka couldn't breathe, not the normal "I'm scared" type of panic. This was deeper, heavier, sharp like a knife inside her chest. The investigator's words echoed again and again. "Your parents were killed." Chief Nwoke cut the brake lines. Her hands trembled so violently that Benjamin grabbed them to steady her, but they still shook. Her entire body shook. Her voice cracked. "You're lying." The investigator shook his head. "I wish I were." "No," Amaka whispered. "No, no. My parents died in an accident. The police said it was an accident. Everyone said it was an accident." Jacob lowered his head. Not every truth is uncovered, especially when powerful people bury it. Benjamin rubbed her back, his own eyes shining with anger. Amaka, breathe. Please breathe. But she couldn't. Her breath came out in broken gasps. My parents, she choked out. They were good people. They never harmed anyone. Why would someone do this to them? The investigator opened a second file. This time the documents were older, yellowed edges, torn corners. These are the raw police reports from the day your parents died, he said, not the sanitized versions people show the public. He pointed at a page with bold writing, brake failure, suspicious damage detected. Look closely, he said. Amaka leaned in with trembling eyes. Beneath the heading was a signed note. Mechanic confirms brake lines were intentionally cut. She covered her mouth. Intentional. Benjamin's fist slammed the table. I swear, if I get my hands on that man. But the investigator continued. The original report was never filed into the system. It disappeared, deleted, replaced. And guess who had influence in that area at the time? He slid another photo across the table. Chief Nwoke, shaking hands with the former commissioner of police. Jacob swore under his breath. This is deeper than we thought. Amaka stared at the photo until her vision blurred. Her whole life, her childhood, her pain, her loneliness. All of it started because a man wanted something. She whispered, Why? Why would he kill them? The investigator flipped one more file open. It held a contract, stamped, signed, old and creased. This, he said, is why. Amaka leaned forward. Her father's name was on the paper. Her mother's signature was beside it. The contract was a land partnership agreement, one giving the family a large compensation once the land was fully developed. But someone had written across it in red ink, void if family refuses final sale. Benjamin frowned, confused. What does that mean? The investigator explained, this land was worth tens of millions long before anyone knew. Nwoke wanted the full ownership. Your father refused, so he used your uncle Namdi to pressure him. When that failed, he paused. They cut the brakes. Amaka grabbed her head, tears falling hard and fast. No, no. Daddy would never sign the final sale. He told my mum. He shouted that night, I will never sell this land to that snake. She broke again. Jacob's voice was steady but cold. So Chief Nwoke decided to remove the obstacle. Benjamin clenched his jaw. Your uncle knew. The investigator nodded. He didn't cut the brakes, but he helped cover the trail. Amaka covered her face and screamed. Not a loud scream, a painful broken one that came from somewhere deep inside her chest. Jacob and Benjamin held her on both sides, but she still trembled violently. I can't do this, she whispered. I can't. Jacob grabbed her shoulders and looked her straight in the eyes. Yes, you can. No. Yes, he insisted, because you're not the little girl they used to push around anymore. You're the richest young woman in tech. You have power now, Benjamin added softly, and you have us. But Amaka shook her head. If I fight him, he'll destroy everything. My company, my name, my parents' memory. I don't know what to do. The investigator cleared his throat. There's something else, he said, something you need to know. Benjamin glared. What now? Slowly, the investigator pulled out one last item, a tiny voice recorder, old, rusty, but still functional. Amaka frowned through her tears. What is that? It was found in your father's old toolbox, the investigator said. I believe he recorded this the night before he died. Amaka froze. Her mother once told her that her father recorded everything, ideas, reminders, even warnings. But she didn't know one still existed. The investigator pressed play. A crackling sound filled the room, static, breathing, shuffling. Then, her father's voice. If anything happens to me, it wasn't an accident. Amaka gasped, covering her mouth again. Benjamin's eyes widened. Jacob leaned in closer. Her father continued, I told Nwoke I would not sell. He said I would regret it. If I die, look for him. Protect Amaka. Protect her mother. They are the light of my life. The recording ended abruptly. Amaka broke into full sobs, collapsing into Benjamin's chest. He held her tightly as she cried. Jacob's hands shook for the first time. He had tears in his eyes, too. "That settles it," he said quietly. "We're not giving this man your project. We're not letting him win." Amaka cried harder. "What if he releases the lies?" Benjamin held her face gently. "Then we bury him with the truth." The investigator nodded. "We can build a legal case, but you must be prepared. This is dangerous." Jacob straightened, his voice becoming firm. "We take this to the top. The courts, the media, the tech community. The world will hear the real story." "But the documents," Amaka whispered. "We don't have the land documents." The investigator exhaled slowly. "Actually, you do." Amaka looked up quickly. "What?" The investigator stood and pulled one last envelope from his briefcase. A different envelope, cleaner, stamped from a government archive. "These are duplicates," he said. "Certified duplicates of the original signed land documents before they were stolen. I found them in a forgotten archive under the old regional office." Amaka blinked. "My parents, your parents," the investigator said, "were innocent." Jacob exhaled in relief. Benjamin hugged Amaka again, but before they could breathe fully, the investigator added one more line. "And there's one more problem." Amaka's heart dropped again. "What problem?" The investigator looked at her with serious eyes. "Someone else knows you have the duplicates." "Who?" Jacob demanded. The investigator swallowed. "Chief Nwoke." Amaka felt the world tilt. The investigator continued. "His men were watching me. He knows I found something. He knows you have it now. And he knows," he paused, "that you're coming for him." Silence fell. Benjamin's jaw tightened. "Let him come." Jacob nodded slowly. "We're ready." Amaka wiped her tears. Her heart was broken. Her soul was shaking. But something new burned inside her, something fierce, something her father had in his voice in that recording. Strength. She lifted her head. "We fight," she whispered. "We fight him with everything we have." Jacob placed a strong hand on her back. Benjamin held her hand tightly. And Amaka, for the first time since the nightmare began, felt ready. Morning crept into the mansion like a slow tide, quiet, pale, and heavy with tension. Amaka sat in the living room with Jacob and Benjamin. None of them had slept. The envelope with the certified land documents sat on the table. The voice recorder lay beside it. Every time Amaka looked at them, grief hit her chest like a hammer. Benjamin placed a warm cup of tea beside her. "You need to drink something." Amaka nodded but didn't touch it. Jacob paced the floor slowly, hands behind his back, deep in thought. "Today," he said, "everything changes." Amaka lifted her eyes. "Are we really doing this? Are we really going to fight him openly?" Jacob stopped pacing. "We have no choice. If we stay quiet, he destroys you. If we give him what he wants, he controls you forever." Benjamin added, "Your parents didn't survive him. But you will." Amaka swallowed hard. "But he's powerful. He has connections. He has money." Jacob looked at her firmly. "And so do you. Maybe for the first time in your life, you're standing on equal ground with your enemy." "But what if he attacks first?" Benjamin leaned closer. "Then we hit back harder." The way he said it made something stir inside her, a feeling she hadn't felt in years. Courage. Later that morning, Amaka arrived at her office building, escorted by security. Reporters flocked around her, microphones raised. "Miss Amaka, is it true your family was involved in illegal land business? Are the rumors about Project Nova ownership true? Did you receive threats from a businessman last night? Is your company under investigation?" Amaka kept her head high, walked through the cameras, and entered the elevator with Benjamin and 2 guards. Her breathing was tight, but her voice was steady. "I'm ready," she whispered. Benjamin squeezed her hand gently. "You're stronger than you think." Inside the 15th floor boardroom, the entire management team waited for her. Faces tense, fingers tapping tables, eyes filled with worry. Amaka sat at the head of the table. Jacob joined through video call on the big screen. Benjamin stood behind her like a silent pillar. Her manager, Mr. Adebayo, cleared his throat. "Amaka, the board needs answers. We support you, but the pressure is rising. Investors are calling. They want to know if these rumors are going to affect Nova's global release. Amaka exhaled softly. I understand. Another manager leaned forward. Do you deny the allegations? Amaka nodded. Every single one. The room stiffened as she continued. My parents were innocent. Their land was stolen. They were threatened. And now someone is trying to use their death to destroy me. Her voice cracked slightly, but didn't break. Jacob's voice came through the speakers, calm and authoritative. We have evidence, real evidence. Police reports covered up, documents stolen, a recording from Amaka's father naming his killer. Gasps filled the room. Mr. Adebayo asked carefully, Are you going public with this? Amaka looked at Jacob, then at Benjamin, then at the table. Yes, she said, we are. The managers exchanged shocked looks. Benjamin stepped forward. The moment the public hears the truth, the rumors die. Investors will see this for what it really is, extortion and an attempt to control one of the most promising technologies in Africa. A young manager whispered, This will go viral. Amaka nodded. Good. Let it. That afternoon, press conference cameras, news stations, microphones, crowds, the whole country was watching. Amaka stood at the podium in a simple white blouse. Her parents' documents were in her left hand. The recorder in her right. Benjamin stood beside her. Jacob stood behind her. Security surrounded the stage. Flashes went off. Reporters pushed forward. A drone filmed from above. Amaka inhaled deeply. My name is Amaka Chisom, she began. For the past few days, lies have been used to attack my family's name and my life's work. Yes, someone shouted. Tell us, another yelled. She held up the envelope. These are the real land documents, original duplicates from the government archive. My parents never sold land illegally. They were victims of a powerful man who wanted to silence them. Murmurs spread across the crowd. And this, she lifted the recorder, hand steady now, is my father's voice. Recorded the night before he died. Gasps erupted. Play it. Let's hear it. She pressed play. The speakers crackled. Her father's frightened but firm voice filled the air. If anything happens to me, it wasn't an accident. Nwoke said I would regret refusing the final sale. Protect Amaka. Reporters covered their mouths. Some people cried. Some people shouted. The entire crowd erupted into chaos. Amaka continued, My parents were killed. Their case was buried. And now the same man wants to destroy me and steal Project Nova. She paused. But today, this ends. Cameras flashed wildly. Reporters screamed, Who is the man? Name him. Expose him. Amaka took a deep breath. Her voice turned cold. His name is Chief Nwoke. The crowd exploded. Journalists rushed forward. Security struggled to keep them back. People screamed, We need justice. Arrest him. Expose all of them. For the first time, Amaka felt the weight lifting from her chest. Her truth was out. Her parents' voices were finally heard. Her name was no longer tied to scandal, but to courage. But just as she was about to step away from the podium, a man pushed through the crowd violently. He knocked aside a camera. He shoved a reporter. He rushed straight toward the stage. Benjamin reached for Amaka. Jacob shouted, Security! Guards moved instantly, but the man broke through before anyone could grab him. He pointed at Amaka, his eyes wild, his clothes dusty, his voice shaking. It was her uncle, Namdi. Amaka froze. Benjamin moved in front of her, but Namdi screamed, Stop! Stop! Don't say another word. The crowd gasped. Uncle? Amaka whispered. Security guards grabbed him, but he fought wildly, screaming, You don't know the full story. You don't know what really happened. You don't know what he promised me. Amaka's heart raced. Who promised you? Namdi thrashed against the guards, eyes burning with fear and desperation. Then he shouted, loud enough for the entire nation to hear, Chief Nwoke was not working alone. The entire crowd froze. Benjamin's grip tightened around Amaka's arm. Jacob's face turned pale. And Namdi pointed a shaking finger, directly at someone standing in the crowd. Someone Amaka never expected. Someone who made her heart stop cold. He made a deal with her, Namdi screamed. Ask her, ask Chika. Chika, standing in the crowd, smiling. If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.